So when we're setting up our kind of like our stack for how we're going to see how's our middle wrapping, how are we starting to build the basic stability activation to set up a lot of our core work. Like when you get to the question of what is spinal neutral, the eternal question, this kind of mystifying thing, one of the easiest ways I can explain it would be like the diaphragm and the pelvic floor are roughly parallel with each other and in line. So if my ribs are either flaring up or flattening out, or my pelvis is tilting back or arching too far forwards, that can kind of throw off that relationship between the two. So when you try and add some of the core prompts in and whatnot, it's just not going to feel right, or you're not going to get the activation. Probably the most common one would be the ribs flaring up. A lot of people say with their planks, with a lot of their core work, I can't get my ribs down, it stays popped up. So easiest prompt to get that down would be a deep breath in and breathe all the way out. And on that full exhale, as you force your air out, you tend to get more of like a depression in the ribs here. So now our rib cage is moving down towards our pelvis instead of up towards our head. So when we start to set up kind of the four corners of either the breathe into all of them, or just like the contraction to see are all the corners of our midsection, torso, abdomen, abdominal cylinder, whatever you want to call it, are active. We want to see if bringing that down or getting those more in parallel helps activate that. When we activate through here and then we progress to sort of our 3-month position, tabletop, whatever you want to call it, everything is stacked and ready to move before we progress to some of our leg lowering maneuvers. So once again, the biggest deviation would be the rib flare, full exhalation. Try and visualize these two being in parallel as we start to initiate our breathing, or just our static contraction into the four corners of the abdomen before we start to set up into our leg lowering progressions. And why not? We good?